Access Love. So it was February, and now you've just enrolled. When did you guys start program? Caitlin, Josh? October. All right, good stuff. So any of the 2023 programs. Now, if it weren't 6:30 in the morning, I would ask you guys, why did you enroll in teacher training? But it is super early, so I'm not going to do that to you right now. But don't worry, I'll grab you after class. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Let's take child's pose. Anyways, knees out wide, toes together, and fingers to the top of your mat. Let's take a big breath in. Fill it up all the way. And sigh it back out. Start moving that air in all the way, filling to maximum capacity. Sigh it all back out. Just looking for the movement here. Keep cycling that breath. Slowly lengthening your inhales and deepening your exhales. We want big breaths here. Your Ujjayi breath is what's going to carry you through practice, and this is the time to establish it. Give yourself 2 more breaths just to get connected before you tuck your toes and inhale to downward facing dog. When you make it to down dog, start adding movement to your breath. However you want to do that, whether it's bending knees, coming up high on your tippy toes, 1 breath in, 1 movement, 1 breath out, another movement, back and forth, any way that you want to do it. Part of this is about listening to your body, discovering what's going to be right for you this morning. No matter how it was yesterday, the day before that, or the week before that, how is it today? If I missed you with an assisting card, it's now at the top of your mat, flipped over to the no side. You're welcome to flip it back and forth at any point. Let's take a breath in and reach our right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend your top knee, open up your hip, and take 3 breaths here. Just looking to stretch open that side of your body. 2 more times. And let it go. Last one before you put your foot down, and then we're going to switch the left leg up into the air. Inhale that heel straight up to the ceiling. Bend your top knee, open up your hip. See if you can actively plant your left pinky finger down into the mat so that you can get even more stretch open towards the side. Last breath here. Both feet down. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Walk your hands back to your feet. Yes, here's a little reverse. Good job, yogis. Halfway lift on your breath in. Ragdoll, exhale. You know, I've been loving a few extra breaths here in this particular pose. So take this sway side to side if you need it. But let's look to increase the intensity of this pose by bringing your hips 1 inch further forwards. Bring some weight into your big toes. Looking to connect the 4 corners of your feet down into the mat. See if you can create length from your big toe all the way back to your heel. As you breathe, you might notice that this pose is gaining intensity as you stay. And let me tell you, the more intensity that this pose builds, the more that you need to breathe. Let your breath be the thing that guides you, that sustains you in the pose. Soften your knees. And on your next inhale, let's roll up to stand, 1 vertebrae at a time. When you get there, fingertips straight up to the ceiling and hands down to heart center. Set your intention for this practice. What is it that you're looking to get out of it? Who do you want to be on your mat this morning? Choose one word that expresses that for you, and then we're going to ohm it into place. 3 ohms here. Take your breath in. Inhale, fingers up. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Walk your hands out to a high plank on your exhale. We're going to move through chaturanga, down and upward facing dog. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale. Take 2 breaths here. In and out. One more time. Inhale. Bend your knees. Exhale. Step or float. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain up and back. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Looking to press your sits bones up and back. One more time. Let it go. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Press through your heels. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths. In. Out. One more time. In. Bend your knees. Hop. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain up and back. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Set your drishti to the back of your mat. Gaze is active here. 1 breath in. Exhale, look to the front of your mat. Hop. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair. Press through your heels. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior 1. Pick the front of your pelvis up. Chaturanga. Up dog. Through down dog and into left side, warrior 1. Stretching through the front of your body. Chaturanga. Moving through upward facing dog. Into down dog. Take a breath in. And when you get here, sigh it out. Looking to create some sound here. One more time. Breathe in. Sigh. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees. Hop. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair. Get long in your side body. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Right side, warrior 1. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Left side, warrior 1. Looking for that little piece of your intention. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. So here's where you get to start working with the intention that you set to class. Let it be something that you get to sprinkle into every single pose. See how you can embody it here. Take your breath in. Bend your knees. Hop. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. That intention right here. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Up dog on your inhale. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Plant your foot as you reach. Chaturanga. Up dog. Into downward facing dog. Your practice as your own. Left side warrior one. How can you show up right here? Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Take your breath in. Sigh it out. Move it one more time. In. Sigh. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Last opportunity, chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog drishti. Down dog. Right side warrior one. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Left side warrior one. In and up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Yes, yogis. Now, we've already gotten to do this stretch once. Kick your right foot up into the air. Now, different for the first time. Kick your heels straight up to the ceiling. Get as much height as you can. This means coming up onto your tippy toes in the back foot as high as it'll go. Bend your top knee, open your hip. So yes, the stretch in the side body, even bigger than before. Stay here or flip dog. That's it. Set your drishti in this pose. Get concrete about where your eyes are going to land and then keep them there. You have 2 more breaths just to stay and see what there is to explore about this pose. Last one. Bring it over, high plank and into side plank. Now on this side plank, bring your right knee into your chest. So that means your bottom leg. And yes, I know that's going to mean putting your top left foot onto the ground, right knee into your chest. From here, we're going to kick that foot out 3 times. So inhale, press the heel out. Exhale, tuck it in. 2 more. Inhale out. Exhale, tuck. Last one. Inhale, press. Exhale, chaturanga. I flip myself over in this pose all the time. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Sometimes you just get a little excited with those kicks. Let's do left leg up into the air. I flipped myself onto Debbie Rill's mat in the last class. It was a lot of fun. Bend your top knee. Open up your hip. Find that extra space. Look for the stretch. Where can you expand this pose so that you're reaching to the edge of your capacity here before you take it to flip dog? I set and now breathe. Let this pose, the expansion of it, come from your breath. On each inhale, reach your left fingers out to the very edge of the pose, as far as you can go. 2 more breaths. Right up there to the very edge. This is it. Last one. Flip it over, high plank. Side plank. Now we're going left leg into the chest this time. Oh yeah. Tuck that knee up as high as it'll go before you inhale, foot out. Exhale, tuck. 2 more times. Inhale, press. Exhale, tuck. Last one. Inhale. Chaturanga through the exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Yeah, I love the sighs in the morning. Breathe in. Sigh. From here, let's take right side crescent lunge. Oh yeah, Philomena's excited for this pose this morning. I love it. Bring your feet nice and wide on the mat. Philomena, wider on the mat. Bring that left foot out even further towards the edge. I love this for some stability here in the pose. Now come low into the lunge. We're taking some time to explore your big toe today. Press it down into the mat. And what you might notice is if you bring your knee so that it's right over top of your heel, maybe even over top of your toes, there's a different sort of connection that can happen down into the mat. Just take the time to explore this. What does pressing down through the four corners of your feet really feel like right here? How can you press down harder to reach up even taller through your hands? Last breath. Hands to heart center. Twist to the left. Yes, you can choose hands to heart center or open them up. Did I twist to the wrong side? It was twist to the right, wasn't it, Nancy? Good job. All right, 2 breaths here. One more time. In. Stay for that exhale. Breathe in, rise up, take crescent lunge. Yes, from right here in crescent lunge, we're going to step into warrior 3. So up onto your front foot, back leg is reaching out. Yes, you might not have tried this before, but reaching forwards through your fingertips with the same intensity as you're pressing back through this foot. Get the side to side length here. Let's take standing split. So your right fingertips are going to come down to the mat or down to a block, and then you'll look to lift that left leg as high as it can go, pressing your heel up to the ceiling once more. Just to check it out, see if there's something new to discover about this pose. We're going to take one more breath here before landing the back foot into crescent lunge. Yep, so step it straight back, crescent lunge. Here it is, getting low into that lunge. Warrior 2. Nicely done, everybody. You did a really good job through those. Come down here low in warrior 2. Extended side angle. See if you can bring the breath to this pose. If you've lost it, you can't hear your neighbor breathing or you can't hear yourself breathing, this is the moment to turn that breath up. Let it feel like it's going and moving through the whole pose, your whole body ignited by each breath. Here it is. Last one in. Chaturanga on the way out. Move through up dog with your breath in and into downward facing dog. Let's take a breath and sigh. Let it go once more. In and out. Left side crescent lunge. Now you'll know that we're going to be working with a few different things in this pose, so set it up how you need it to be. Come down low into the lunge, fingers out to the ceiling, and drishti out to the ceiling. One of the points that we often forget in this pose is how much core strength it takes to sit low into your hips and then reach through your hands. See if you can pull your low belly up towards your belly button. I think I meant the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. Let your tailbone descend here before you bring your hands to heart center. And twist to the left. Here we go. 2 breaths. Let them move the whole way through the pose. One more time. On your inhale, rise up, take crescent lunge. And from here in crescent lunge, gently kick up warrior 3, reaching those fingertips straight out ahead of you. See if you can breathe deeply enough that you can fuel the pose with your breath. Letting each of those breaths in, reach your hands even further in front of you. Really nice job. You're doing great. Last breath, standing split. Yep, now looking to bring the energy into kicking your heel as high as it will go. Yes, yogis. Looking for some new space, new stretch. Take your breath in. Exhale, crescent lunge. All the way back. Very nicely done. Fingertips up to the ceiling. Warrior 2. One breath here just to get the front leg into the right position. Knee over top of your toes. Extended side angle. Left hand down and right hand up to the ceiling. Now breathe into the pose. When the breath starts to move away, see if you can add it even deeper here. Letting it be a part of the creation of the pose in and of itself. One more breath in. Chaturanga on the way out. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Hug everything into center line. So that intentionality that you set for yourself at the beginning of class, sprinkle it right here. What does it mean to live up into the creation of space? To live up into the creation of being powerful, of being strong, whatever it is, right here, just that last little sprinkle that you need, forward fold. Bring your feet out to the edges of your mats. Tuck your pointer fingers around your toes and let your head hang all the way down to the floor. You can go for a little sway from right to left if that would feel good here. Look to drop your head all the way down. With each exhale, look to remove whatever is blocking your path here this morning. Your path to living into your intention. Your path to getting the most out of your practice today. On your next exhale, we're going to let it go. This is it. Last one. Chair. Now we're doing both of our chair twists on this side. So sit down low into the chair, right back to the maximum capacity you had in the last pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Twist to the right. From here, 3 breaths. Opening your hands or keeping them closed. This is it. 2 more times. 1 more time. On your inhale, rise up, take chair pose. Hands to heart center. Twist to the left. 3 breaths here. Breathing with your yogi neighbors beside you. Expanding it with each inhale. Letting it go with the exhale. 1 last time. On your inhale, breathe in, reach up. Fold, exhale. Feet wide on the mat. This time, palms tuck underneath your toes. Gorilla. Look to steady your breath here. I'm glad. This is my favorite assist in the whole of the class, is this forward fold. Welcome. Crow. Crow or your inversion options, whichever option suits you this morning, let's go for it. We're going to do 10 counts here. So 10, 9, 8. Bring your breath. 7, 6, 5, 4. Great shoulders back. 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog when you breathe in. Down dog, exhale. 1 more time. In and out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. On your inhale, roll up to standing. Take right side eagle. Right arm wraps under and right leg wraps over top. As you sit down into this pose, getting a little bit more bend in your bottom leg, I want you to bring the same intentionality to lifting up through your shoulders. That's it. Creating length all along your side body. Just like that, Mike. Good job. 2 breaths here. 1 more time. And then we'll switch sides. So left arm under, left leg over. We're going to get all of the space in this pose. There's this creation that can happen here. If you let yourself sink a little bit lower into the bottom leg, and that's a really good job, Jill, or you can lift your elbows high and get all of this new stretch up along your spine. Good job. On your inhale, step out. Let's take right arm under, right leg over. setting your drishti to one spot that's not moving, preferably an inanimate object, because pretty much everything else is going to wiggle at some point. See if you can soften your spine. Soften your shoulders, letting your thoracic spine press through and your shoulders sink onto your back. Good job. We're going to take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, we'll step out, take left arm under and left leg over. This is the last of the eagle poses. So what do you need to get out of this pose to make it feel like you've really experienced eagle here? Pressing your thoracic spine through and letting your shoulders relax back. Good job. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, step out. And you can shake it out. We're going to go for a right side standing leg raise today. And let's go for the leg presses on this one. So what I mean by that, bring your left hand to your low back. And your right hand, instead of grabbing your knee, is actually going to sit on top of it. Now, I love these leg presses because equanimity is really all about your core. As you press your hand down and lift your knee up, you should feel your belly button fully engaging here. Like there is a deep sense of core happening. Flex that raised foot. And you guys are doing a really good job of this. Add a little bit more press here. Now, keeping this right knee into the air, bring both of your hands to the back side of your hips. So your hands are going to help you keep your hips level in this next pose. Take airplane. What you might notice here in your airplane is that one elbow is higher than the other. This means that your hips are opening up towards the side of your mat. And what I want you to do is get your elbows and your hands level, dropping your right hip down just a little bit to make this happen. Yeah, you're doing a really good job, Courtney. I saw that. Leveling out both sides. I know this is harder in your core than being unlevel. Let's take half moon. Half moon, I always feel like after really working my core in airplane is such a relief. Now bring this top ankle 1 inch higher. And you've got it, April. Good job. Reaching up here. Last breath in, feet down. You can take your forward fold and sway or just shake out your arms and your legs before we hit the next side. However you need to get there, let's do that. And when you're ready, we'll take left side standing leg raise. 1 hand to your low back, 1 hand on top of your knee. Now, all I'm asking you to do here is identify your core. That's really what we're doing. Getting not only the superficial core muscles activated, but also those deep core muscles, the ones that really control your balance. Flex your bottom foot. And now bring softness to your standing knee. I know that nobody wants to hear that in this pose, but it does help. Good job. You've got that core turned on. So both hands come to your low back. And now steady airplane. I like to move into my default version of this pose and adjust from there. So when you get into it, notice that your left hip needs to come down. Yeah, Josh, you're doing a really good job there. Left hip a little bit lower. Nicely done. All right, everyone. Half moon. Right hand down this time. Left hand all the way to the ceiling. Kick the left heel up 2 more inches so that the side of your body engages in this hold. The hip engages in pulling your leg up. All right. Hands and feet down. Shake it out, forward fold, whatever you need to do. On your inhale, we'll rise to stand. And take dancer. So we're going, I'm actually not going to ruin the surprise. Dancer. That's it. That's all I have to say. Soften your bottom knee. See when you add that little bit of bend, if you can press your big toe down even more actively onto the mat. Now from here, you have the solid foundation. Press to the edge of the pose. Your back knee and your front hand reaching away from each other with equal and opposite intensity. Take 3 breaths here, right at the edge of the pose. Yes, like that. 2 more times. Last one, you have it. feet down. Good job. You can shake out your arms and your legs before we take the left side. So that's really it. Get into the pose and establish the base, and then reach for the edge of it. The thing about the edge of the pose is that it's a space where you're going, can I stay here for another breath? Am I potentially going to wiggle and maybe fall out of this pose? I don't quite know, but reach for that edge. The one where you're like, all right, this is maximum capacity, and now breathe 3 times here. At the end of your third breath, you can bring both feet down to the mat. Up. Once you get here, we'll take right side, tree pose. Hands to heart center, hands up to the ceiling, or namaste, hands behind your back, yogi's choice. Whichever version of this pose that you choose, let's look for grounding. It's the next sequence that we move into, but I find it's best if you establish grounding right here, pressing through your feet and connecting down to the mat in order to reach up 1 more inch through your fingertips. You can grow 1 more centimeter as you lift and switch sides. Take left side tree pose. Hands to heart center, namaste, hands behind your back, or reaching to the ceiling. 3 options for 3 different versions of this pose. Soften your standing knee. Now press through your big toes, 1 into the mat and then 1 into the standing leg before you reach to the ceiling. See if there's the possibility to create more space in this pose in your last breath. Good job, Nancy. Feet down. All right, head of your mat. Let's take extended mountain, reaching all the way up. Fold on your exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right side triangle. Extend through your side body as you reach into this pose. If you've lost what that feels like, you can picture it like this. Press your hips backwards and then reach up through both of your armpits. I know it's a little bit odd, but that's really the only way that I can picture my side body ever getting any longer. So create that equal action, pressing through your hips, reaching through your shoulders. And on your next inhale, we'll rise up to stand and take side facing, wide-legged forward fold. Go for your ninja lunges or a bind on this side. So looking to, yes. All right, you've got this. Drishti is going to stay super active in these poses, especially if you're moving in the ninja lunges. See if you can actively use your drishti. So eyesight on one point, whether it stays the same from side to side, or even if there are 2 distinct spots on each side that you're looking at. Create space to lengthen your spine and drop your head down towards the floor. For my ninja lunges, even out those sides. And then on everybody's next breath in, we're going to inhale, rise up. And let's take namaste front facing forward fold today. So feet hips width distance, little mini warrior 1 stance here. You can interlace your fingers behind your back and fold forwards. So the bind here is actually adding more weight to your upper body. It helps do that. It'll add more stretch to your front leg. But what it also does is enable you to lengthen your spine. So you can use the bind, whether or not it's namaste hands or fingertips interlaced, to create space from your head all the way down to your hips. From here, twisting triangle. Left hand down to the mat, right hand out to the side. Yes. Creating that twist from your upper spine. That's it. Reach backwards through your right hip and then look to twist right up here. Good job. Let's stay for one more breath in. And on your exhale, we'll move through chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Into downward facing dog, exhale. Take left side triangle. All the way up and through. Move your drishti to the ceiling if it's not already there. Choosing one spot where you want to keep your gaze. Now add that sprinkle of your attention to this pose. Whatever it is, create it here. If you want to get grounded, feel secure in your practice, press through your big toes. If you need space and some creativity, not only reach up through your hand, but maybe tread backwards for a little tiny baby back bend here. Depending on what your intention is, create the pose that speaks to that feels like it in your body as a creation and not as a concept. You've got one more breath here, so get it all out. Ring that intention out. On your inhale, we'll rise to stand. Take side facing, wide-legged forward fold. Now this time, walk your feet all the way off the back end of your mat. So your hands are going to end up on your mat. Your feet will be off of your mat. So we've done these in a few classes, but not recently. You're going to bring your hands to the edge of your mat, and your feet will be close enough so that your shoulders are right on top of your wrists. From here, on your exhale, bring your weight all the way up into your big toes and then drag them forwards towards your wrists. So this is a little handstand prep here. It helps if your feet are further off of the mat. This little drag forwards is really difficult with your toes on the mat. So let's keep working into this. On the exhale, dragging your toes all the way up towards your hands. Let's do it 3 times. Take 3. 2, each breath out, and 1. Very nicely done. When you're ready, inhale, rise to stand, and take left side. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Fingertips interlaced behind your back, and fold towards your front leg. Bring your breath back into this pose. Your Ujjayi breath is going to get away from you throughout your practice. That happens naturally. When you notice that the breath is no longer fueling your practice, turn it up again. Breathing like it's the thing that sustains this pose. It's the thing that makes it happen. Bring some softness to your knees. Twisting triangle. Right hand down, left hand all the way to the side of your mat. That's it. 2 breaths here. One last time. Inhale, stay for the full thing. Exhale, chaturanga. We'll move right through upward facing dog and into down dog. From here, roll to your high plank. In your high plank, bring the tops of your feet down onto the mat. This is going to bring a little bit more weight over into your shoulders and onto your wrists. We're going to hold this right here. We're holding for 10, 9, keep breathing, 8, 7, 6, 5, you have this, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down. Let's do one set of locust pose today. So hands either by your sides, interlaced behind your back, or reaching out in front of you. You get to choose the locust pose that's going to serve your practice. Ready, set, yogi go. Locust pose round 1 for 5, 4. Breathing in the pose. 3, 2, 1. All the way down. You can knock your knees right to left. floor bow. Hands by the outer edges of your ankles. Ready, set, yogi go, press down, lift up, inhale, floor bow, round one. That's it. See if you can get your quads, so the tops of your thighs planted down onto the mat. From here, press your shins backwards, letting them lift your chest 1 inch higher, all the way down. You can tuck your knees from right to left if you'd like. Take an upward facing dog. Hands by your low ribs and inhale all the way up. Exhale, knees onto the mat. Quick vote. Do we want to do wheel pose today? Because it's going to change if we do camel or not. Thumbs up for wheel. All right. We've been outvoted today. Roll all the way onto your spine. We're going to bridge pose. And listen, I know you got outvoted, but don't worry. If you come back on Tuesday, we'll do another vote then. Yesterday, we had a resounding yes for wheel pose. So here we go. Tucking your shoulders underneath of yourself. We're taking bridge. Set it up. Both knees are hugging in towards center line. From here, pick your right knee up into your chest. We're going to stay with it like this. I want you to press into center line. So pressing against my hand and my knee, we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3. You've got this. 2, 1. This knee down. Left knee up into your chest. Now hug in through center line, pressing for 5, 4. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Both hips down onto the mat. Now we're going to reset the sides. You can tuck your knees right to left. So you see, we're going to do the hug into center line on both sides and then bring our hips down for a rest. So here we go. Both hips up into the air. Let's go for right side. Knee into your chest. And now I want you to make this hug into center line as hard as you can go. Pressing against my hand, pressing against my leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right knee down, left knee up into your chest. Yes, here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips down for the rest here. Knees right to left. Ready? Set, round 3. Here we are. Press down. Lift up, hips into the air, keeping your feet where they are. Hug your right knee into your chest. Let's hug in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right foot down, left foot up into the air, and hug for 5, 4. Good job, Nancy. 3, 2, 1. All the way back down. Knees side to side. Guess what, guys? We only have 2 sets left. Press down. Lift up. Inhale. Here we go. Right knee in and press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Back down. Left knee into the air. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down. All right. Hips both directions. Ready? Last set. Here we go. Press, lift, move. Right knee hugs in towards center. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right knee down, left knee up. Let's go. Here we are for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everyone down. Knees side to side. I love abs and bridge. Here we go. Let's take Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to switch right over into it. So one hand on your heart, one hand in your belly. Take Happy Baby. And today in Happy Baby, we're actually celebrating the arrival of a new baby in Nancy's family. She just got her first grandbaby, which is super exciting. I love a good snuggly baby. Yes. So here, for baby Emmett, we're going to rock right to left. This is Happy Baby, all the way to one side, all the way to the other. And from here, both heels up into the ceiling. Now, we're going to reach both our hands up towards our toes. We're doing some little ab crunches here for 10. Bring your breath. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips behind your ears. Yogi bicycles for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Not hearing a lot of breath. 4. Little more. 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Rock head to toe 3 times. All the way forwards. All the way back. That third time, boat pose. It's the last one here. When you get it, hands out. Fingertips wide. Toes spread. Boat pose. 10, 9. Really good job with the breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock. Hey, Philomena, do you want to talk us through falling triangle? The right side sciatic nerve stretch. So take downward facing dog. We're doing something a little bit different today, and Philomena is actually the first person who ever taught me it. So from here in downward facing dog, we're going to bring our, let's start with the right leg today. So right leg all the way through to the left side of your mat. Now the focus here is lowering both of your hips down towards the mat with your hip points still facing the floor. You can keep your legs straight, flex your foot, and press your heel out as you lower. I call this a Goldilocks and the Three Bears kind of pose. To increase intensity, yep, press through your heel further and maybe even lift it higher towards your head. To decrease intensity, you can bend your knee and bring your heel a little bit lower. Philomena, anything to add there? No? All right, good stuff. Keep getting weight into the left hip. Got it. Left hip down towards the floor. That's the advice. Yeah, left hip point down towards the mat. Again, this is a pose. I didn't get it the first time I tried it. You're looking for a stretch from your your right hip all the way down across the outside of that leg underneath of you. Sometimes you can feel this all the way into your heel. One other thing that's a little bit helpful here in this pose is knowing that you can either rotate further forwards onto your hip or roll further backwards, and that will also change the intensity. So Goldilocks and the Three Bears, working with a little bit more intensity and a little bit less intensity, just seeing what's right for your body today. Very good job, yogis. Let's take one more breath here before we come back to downward facing dog. I've been loving this lately. So in your down dog, take a moment to notice how the two sides of your body are different right now. You've stretched one side out. There might be some new space in your hips. Take a second to explore that and feel that before we move for the left side. So left leg passes underneath of you. Keep your legs straight as you lower down towards the mat. Actively pressing out through your heel as you lower. Now, my hips are definitely very different on these two sides. It's a lot harder for me to try to rotate my right hip point down towards the mat on this side. Note that the two sides can be different, and that is a-okay. Keep moving with your breath. You know it's the thing that can help hold you in the pose and help create new space for exploring, for stretching, for trying something new. See if you can sprinkle your intention on this pose, just like all of the rest of them. Maybe your intention was to be present, in which case you could focus on your hands pressing together or down into the mat. Take one last breath here. We're going to come back to down dog. In downward facing dog, take one breath. Just notice how your hips feel, how you've created them newly in this moment. From here, we're going to come to a seated position. Let's come to staff pose. So fingertips straight out in front of you and slowly roll onto your spine. From here, let's move into our inversions. So getting our hips up above our heart one more time, whether that be shoulder stand, headstand, handstand, waterfall. There are lots of different options here. Choose the pose that's best suited to your practice today. Which pose helps you live up and into the intention? One of the basic tenets of this practice that I love the most is be a yes. And the first time that I heard that, I was like, what do you mean be a yes? I'm certainly not somebody who loves listening to directions all of the time. And be a yes to me meant blindly following. That is not what this be a yes means. Be a yes, it's written on the wall actually here in the studio. The definition for this is be a yes as a creation and not as a concept. Put your attention on what you want to have happen and be for it. This is what setting your intention does for you. Shoulder stands, move to plow. Essentially, your intention is a goal that you set for yourself to get out of this practice. And then it stands there as that goal as the thing that you are a yes for. You are a yes for being that creation, for being that intention. Shoulder stands, move to plow, plow to deaf yogis. From here, roll every single vertebrae back down onto the mat. Hug both knees up into your chest. We're going to let them fall to the left side of your body, eyes over your right shoulder. There's a cold eye towel at the upper right-hand corner of your mat, and you are more than welcome to use it. Drop your knees over to the right side this time, eyes to the left. Let yourself fully relax down onto the mat. Put your attention on what you want to have happen and be for it. Hug your knees up into your chest. Take Shavasana, letting your legs and arms go out long with your eyes closed. Steady your breath. And let your body slowly melt down onto the mat. Starting with your head. Then relaxing your shoulders down. Let your ribs sit heavy. Let yourself release any tension that you're holding in these areas by just putting your attention there and letting your breath soften. Bring your attention down your legs to your knees. Bring your attention down through your ankles and into your heels. Purposely relax the arches of your feet, followed by each of your toes moving from your big toe down to your pinky toe. Create softness and ease all throughout your body. Take a deep inhale, followed by a steady exhale. Bring some movement to your feet and your fingers. When you're ready, hug your knees up into your chest and rock onto your right side, forehead on the floor or on the mat. Move up into a seated position. From here, both fingers up to the ceiling. And exhale your hands down to heart center. Set your intention for the rest of your day. This thing that you will create. Put your attention on this area and be for it. Be a yes for your intention all throughout your day. Take a breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles up to forehead center. The light in me sees, honors, and acknowledges the light in each and every one of you. To say that to each other, we bow our heads and we say, Namaste. Thank you, guys. Thanks for showing up this morning. It was great to see you. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks, Minnie, Jeanette, and David for joining at home. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.